Recently, something electrical blew up in that dumpster fire right there. It's blowing fuses, it's not charging, overall it's just running like garbage. Let's fix it. Let me start off by saying hopefully you guys all had a wonderful Thanksgiving with your families yesterday. Hopefully no fights broke out, nobody went to the ER. Congratulations. So last weekend my wife wanted to do a garage sale, which meant I had to move the truck, put it in the street, make some room. Started it up and it was really hard to start. It was cranking a lot, it just didn't want to start. And once it did, I noticed it wasn't charging. And I found that the main fuse, this one right here, that kind of feeds pretty much all of the electrical in the truck, that fuse kept blowing. And the last time that happened, it ended up being a problem in the dash where one of my gauges, the power input to one of my gauges, was actually shorting against the metal of the dash. So first thing I did was I yanked the dash out, and it was still happening. So I started doing some troubleshooting, and I found that the main power was shorted to ground. So started looking into it. Thought it was an alternator. If I disconnected the alternator, that fuse wouldn't blow, but there were still issues with it running. It was running like garbage. The ignition seemed off. So, started doing some more troubleshooting. Now, in all transparency, I think I already found the problem, but I'm going to walk you through the process I took to find it. So, excuse the underhood mess here. Like I said, I've been doing a lot of troubleshooting earlier this week. So what I have is I have two power blocks. This is like main power. This is like constant power. And the one over here behind my ignition is like switched power. So what I found was, like I said, I found a direct short to ground. And originally I thought it was the alternator because this is my input from the alternator. If I disconnect this with the truck running, this fuse here won't blow. So naturally thought I had an alternator problem. So I came over to the alternator, disconnected everything, kind of ohmed it out, thought maybe I had a short in the alternator, couldn't find any issues there, reconnected it, and then started doing some other electrical kind of troubleshooting. All right, so hopefully this shows up okay. What I've got is I got my meter set up here for ohms. I've got a lead connected directly to the negative battery. All right, now if I start probing here on my power connections, you can see there is a dead short, both on the terminal block that I have for constant power, and if I go over to the one for switched power, you can see that also it's kind of fluctuating. If I connect the battery, it'll go to 0. That's because, like I said, I think I've already found the problem, but you can see there is definitely a direct short something in the electrical system. Because, I mean, I can disconnect it and it kind of bleeds off over time. Like I said, and that's because I think I found the problem. But you can see, I connect the battery, that goes basically to a dead short. So, what I started doing was, I'm going to disconnect this, I don't want to leave the battery hooked up with a dead short, but what I started doing was I started disconnecting things until this short went away. So when I came in here, and some of these are still loose from all the troubleshooting, but I have, when I put these terminal blocks in, I labeled kind of everything. Now I've added things since then, but I have most of these terminals labeled, so I know what's on each of these terminal blocks for the most part. Like I said, I've added things, but since I know what's where, when I start probing, let me see if I can put this meter up where you guys can see it again. I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see this. I don't even know if I can get this to balance. Hang on. Is that in the shot? Sorta. Not really. Let's see if I can put this somewhere. So, alright. Hopefully that'll show up on the camera. again, I have still a dead short, okay? So, alternator, still a dead short. This is like main power going, coming from the starter relay. So that's the direct feed. This is the battery input. Still short. All right. This is like main power going into the cab, going to the old amp meter. Come on. That should still be shorted. You can see that. This is main power to the sniper. But that's not. All right, still shorted. This is another main power lead just because of the way that I bypass things under the hood. That's not, if I reconnect that wire, it should short out. So this wire right here, so it's causing the majority of my problems. Everything else I can hook back up. Like I said, it's still, there's still some things, something, and I think that's because other things also kind of blew up. Like this relay for one. This is the relay feeding my sniper. I found that out later that this actually died too. But the main problem is this wire right here. But if I still go over to the other terminal block for the switched power, there's still a problem. So let me show you what that was, if I can remember which block it was on. Because like I said, I've reassembled all this so I can move the truck. A lot of this is still kind of like half tore up. Bear with me, guys. Sorry about the noise there. I had to move my mic. But if I unplug, it should be that wire right there. Now, find my lead. I should have, oh, maybe it's not that one. Thought it was that one. So after pulling all of those power wires one at a time until I saw the short go away, I'm pretty sure it's my ignition box that failed, which would explain why I had to do it both on the constant power side and the switch side, because that's going to both power sources. So before I go and replace that ignition box with this Street Fire box by MSD, I'm going to work on cleaning up some of that wiring. I want to label, even though I have the terminal blocks labeled, right now I have it all torn apart, so I got to trace them all out now anyway to keep them straight. I want to label each wire and relabel the terminal blocks, get it all kind of reorganized, and then I'm going to go ahead, like I said, and swap out my ignition box. The one that's in there is by Total Street Performance, and it's been a great unit. That is matched with the distributor. Got them as a set when I did the engine rebuild on this thing, but unfortunately they're all out of stock right now. Not able to get one. This I was able to get really quick. I ordered it. Actually, I got it in like 2 days after I ordered it, something like that. So I'm going to go with this. Give it a try, see how it works, but I got to clean that wiring up first. This is going to take a little while, so I'll bring you back as I'm getting ready to swap this out. All right, so I got the old ignition box out. I got the new one. It's bolted into the truck. A couple of the wires are hooked up. I'll show you that in just a second. But what I did was, I have a lot of switched power wires that they were labeled on the block itself, on those power junction blocks, but the wires themselves weren't labeled. It took some time, because once I had it all pulled apart, obviously I didn't know which was which anymore. So I had to trace them all out, label them on the wire themselves, so now I know, which one's going, which is the switched power to my sniper, what will be the switched to the new ignition box, switched to, I forget what else I had. Not important. Anyway, I labeled those wires, took some time, shot all the wires, ohmed them out, made sure they're all going to I knew which wires were which, labeled them, and they're all hooked back up. Now I'm installing the new ignition box. So let me go ahead, and all the wiring's basically the same. I'm running a constant power directly to the battery. I'm running a ground directly to the same point on the body where the battery is grounded. I also do have a frame ground and all that. My grounds are good in this thing. I spent a lot of time making sure those were good. But I'm running that ground wire. It's just the lug was already there. That's where it reached with no issues. Didn't have to change it, nothing. So that's ground right to the same point. So it's basically going to the negative terminal. I'm running the switched power. I got to cut that to size. I'll label that wire before I connect it. And then same gray wire is tack. And then I got to run the wires going over to the coil and going to the distributor. The wires going to the coil, where are they? Right here. This one right here. They're not long enough. They're orange and black. So I've got some more orange and black wire here. So I'm going to lengthen these wires, get these, because my coil is all the way over on the far side of the passenger's fender. Due to having a sniper, I really wanted to make sure everything was isolated as much as possible. So that coil is as far away from the sniper as I could get it. Now I just got to run the wires all the way over there. But everything should be pretty much the same. Just got to finish running the wires. And let me show you what I did. It's a little bit smaller than my other ignition box, but you can see I just got it bolted to the fender right there. And then I'll run a switched power source to that junction block. And like I said, the constant's already going to the battery. Then I just got to spend some time really cleaning all of this up. I had to cut a lot of stuff free. In order to get all that old wiring out, I had to cut a lot of that stuff free. So now I just got to spend time cleaning it all up. This isn't the results I was hoping for. It started for like a second, and then it blew the fuse. Now the sniper doesn't even turn on. I turned the ignition on. No fuel pump. No screen on the sniper. I have 12 volts constant going to the sniper, and the relay still works. I have 12 volts out of the relay, and I can hear the relay trip. I can manually trigger the relay by, putting voltage on both legs, and I can hear the relay click. I have 12 volts out. That's all still good. But yeah, now the sniper doesn't even turn on. So, did the sniper kill my last ignition? Did the just pulling too much current blow the ignition first on it? I don't know. I don't know how. I don't think it's an alternator. I ring the alternator out. It doesn't, nothing's shorted as far as the alternator goes. But now the sniper doesn't even turn on. All my fuses are good. I had to replace that main fuse again. But yeah, not the outcome that I was really hoping for. So, what to do? I'm half tempted to pull the sniper off, swap out my fuel pump for a carbureted pump, put that Holley 650 on here that I rebuilt a few videos ago, slap that bad boy on there maybe. I don't know, guys. What do you think? Should I keep messing, see if I can get the sniper to work? I mean, I can reach out to Holley, but I don't think it's going to be covered anymore. It's been a while since I bought that thing. Yeah, I really don't know what to do. Appreciate you for watching. Hit that subscribe, hit the bell. I'll see you on the next one.